Is rusted shut. You've been standing in this corridor for 20 minutes with a key that doesn't quite fit, a plastic bag with your uncle's personal effects from the county coroner, and a headache that started 3 days ago and hasn't stopped. The facility manager watches you from the end of the hallway. He offered to help twice. You said no both times. You don't know why. Uncle Ray died the way he lived, quietly, and without telling anyone his plans. Heart attack, alone in a motel room outside the city. The motel staff called the county because there was no emergency contact on file. The county called your mother because she was the only living relative they could find. Your mother called you because she hasn't driven on a highway since 2019, and the storage facility is 40 minutes away. You didn't know Ray. Well, nobody did. He showed up at Christmas sometimes, brought grocery store wine, sat in the corner, left early. He worked as far as anyone knew. In logistics, nobody ever asked what that meant. He never married, never had kids, never owned a house. The only thing registered in his name was this unit 47 paid up 2 years in advance. You step inside, it smells like motor oil and old paper. The unit is maybe 10 by 15 feet, one bare bulb overhead on a pull cord, and it is absolutely packed. Cardboard boxes stacked to the ceiling, labeled in a handwriting you don't recognize as Ray's, too neat, too deliberate. A folding table against the back wall. A cot, neatly made with a wool blanket tucked at the corners like someone military trained. A hot plate. 2 empty water jugs. He wasn't storing things here. He was living here. You stand in the doorway for a long moment. The facility manager has walked away. You're completely alone. You pull the cord. The first box you open has clothes folded, practical dark colors, nothing memorable, 3 identical black jackets. Cargo pants, boots with the laces replaced. You set it aside. The box has documents, not Ray's documents, other people's documents, lease agreements, utility bills, tax returns, all different names, all different addresses, all with photos attached that are not Ray's face. Your hands stop moving. 11 complete identities, each one in its own manila folder, tabbed and organized. Each folder has a small yellow sticky note in the corner with a date, the most recent one from 4 months ago. 4 months ago, Ray was at your mother's birthday dinner. He brought a supermarket cake. He sat in the corner, he left early. You put the folder down. The third box has phones, not one. 16 phones, all cheap, all prepaid, all in individual Ziploc bags with dates written on the bags in marker. Some are old enough to have physical keyboards, some still have SIM cards in them. You're very carefully not thinking about what this means. You pick up the most recent phone, the bag is dated 3 weeks ago after Ray was already dead. You open the bag, the phone is on, the battery is at 14%. There are 3 unread messages. Read them yet. Phone down on the folding table and walk to the entrance of the unit and look out at the empty corridor and breathe. A rational person would call the police right now. You're trying very hard to be rational. You go back inside. The messages are from an unsaved number, no name, just a country code you don't immediately recognize. The first message is a single letter, K. Second is a photo, a building exterior, somewhere urban, somewhere that isn't here. It was sent this morning at 6:43 a.m. He said if anything happened, there would be someone. Are you the someone? You stare at the screen until it dims, 14% becomes 13. You open every box after that. It takes 2 hours. By the end, you have found the 11 identity folders, the 16 phones, $40,000 in rubber-banded cash divided across 4 shoeboxes, a military-grade encrypted hard drive with no visible ports, a handgun you're not going to touch, a ledger written in a shorthand you can't decode, and a photograph. The photograph is what breaks you. It's a family. A woman, maybe 40, dark hair, 2 kids, a boy and a girl, maybe 8 and 10. At a beach somewhere, warm light, everyone is laughing. Looking at whoever is behind the camera the way people only look at someone they completely trust on the back in Ray's handwriting. The real Ray's handwriting, the messy kind you remember from birthday cards, 3 words. Keep them safe, you call your mother. You tell her you're still at the storage unit, you tell her it's taking longer than expected. You do not tell her about the $40,000 or the photograph or the message that arrived this morning from a number registered to a country on the other side of the world. A lot of stuff, she asks. You say, a lot of stuff. She tells you to take whatever you want and donate the rest. As Ray would have wanted that, you say, okay. You hang up an empty parking lot. Evening, you Google the country code. Moldova. In your car in the facility parking lot for a long time. Then you do something you will spend the rest of this story questioning. You text back, I don't know if I'm the someone, but I found the unit. The reply comes in 40 seconds. To the police. Ray trusted you. We need 48 hours. You have never met these people. Ray never mentioned Moldova. Ray never mentioned anything. Ray brought supermarket cake to a birthday party 3 months ago, and then died alone in a motel room, and now someone on the other side of the planet knows your uncle's name and is asking you for 2 days. Your car, you drive home, you bring the photograph. The next morning, there's a car parked outside your building you've never seen before. Blue, clean, no plates, you watch it from your window for 20 minutes. Nobody gets in or out. You go to work, you come home, it's still there. You plug the most recent phone into your charger and go through it properly. There are 34 contacts, all unsaved numbers, all labeled only with 2-letter codes. The texts are mostly brief, dates, locations, single-word confirmations, but one thread is different, longer, more careful. It's a conversation that ran for 2 years. Whoever Ray was talking to knew him, really knew him. They talked about the weather, about bad coffee, about a dog Ray apparently had in 2011 that you never knew about, and buried in the middle of the mundane, quietly like it was nothing. The Harmon account is clean. They don't know about the family. If I can't, then they go to the people who can. Ends 6 weeks ago, 2 weeks before Ray died, you searched the name Harmon. A lot of Harmons in the world. But there's one Harmon, a financial firm, mid-sized, respectable-looking website, offices in 4 cities, that has been mentioned in 3 different investigative journalism pieces in the last 2 years. Movement, shell companies, clients in Eastern Europe, nothing proven, nothing charged. You find a photo of the firm's founding partner. You have seen this man before. He was at your uncle's funeral. He was a coworker. He stood at the back. He left before the reception. The casket go into the ground. Which comes at 2 a.m., not to Ray's phone, to yours, your personal number. We know you have the unit. We know what you found. You have until Friday to make a decision. Friday, the decision gets made for you. Friday is 2 days away. You go back to the unit. You take the photograph, the ledger, 2 of the phones, the encrypted drive. You leave the cash, you leave the gun, you leave everything else exactly as it was. You don't know why you leave the cash. It feels important, like a signal, like you're telling whoever is watching, and someone is watching, that you're not in this for money. You don't know what you're in it for yet. You look at the photograph again, the woman, the 2 kids, the beach, the warm light, the way she's looking at the camera. Keep them safe. Ray didn't have kids. He didn't have a wife. He sat in corners at family parties and brought bad wine and left early and worked in logistics and apparently spent the last decade of his life building 11 fake identities and maintaining a safe house inside a storage unit and feeding information to someone in Moldova about a financial firm connected to people dangerous enough to send a car with no plates to sit outside your apartment building. He was the most boring man you ever knew. You never knew him at all. One call, not the police, not your mother, not a lawyer. You call the number from the first message, the Moldovan number. It rings 4 times. A woman answers. She sounds exhausted. She sounds like someone who has been waiting for this call and dreading it at the same time. You say, I have the ledger. 3 seconds of silence. Said you were the careful one. You have never spoken to this woman in your life. What does the ledger prove? You ask. Everything, she says. If it gets to the right people and the family in the photograph. Another pause. That's us, she says. The ledger to the right people. It takes 11 days, 2 lawyers you find through a source you will never name, and one very long conversation with a journalist at a publication that does not scare easily. And firms' offices are raided on a Thursday morning. You watch it on your phone during your lunch break. 17 arrests, frozen assets across 4 countries. The founding partner is photographed in handcuffs outside the building where he once stood and watched your uncle's casket go into the ground. The car with no plates never comes back. You don't hear from the woman in Moldova again. You don't look for her. But 3 weeks after the raids, a package arrives at your door. No return address inside is a photograph. The same beach, the same warm light, the same 2 kids. Everyone is still laughing. On the back in handwriting you don't recognize. He was right about you. You think about Ray every day now. The bad wine, the early exits, the corners of rooms. You used to think he was invisible because he had nothing to say. Now you understand he was invisible on purpose. It was the only way to keep everyone safe. It's hit different. You already know what to do, and if Ray taught you anything, it's that the quiet ones are always watching.